Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today for the next installment of our Coffee Break webinar series. Today we're talking about the Azure Management Pack for SCOM, and we're joined today by Neha Garg from the System Center team out in Hyderabad. Hi Neha.
Hi Adam.
Thanks for joining us today. So just to sort of quickly introduce the session and the topic for everyone, we're just going to talk very briefly about hybrid monitoring in general, sort of why it's important and why this management pack is a great step forward for SCOM. And then we'll pass across to Neha for an overview of the management pack and its features. We'll also get a demo. And then towards the end, if you can all hang on, we've got a few questions to ask. That'd be really useful for Neha to get the answers to. So let's jump straight in. So hybrid monitoring, why is it important? Why do we need to sort of spend time working on this? So I'm sure all of us have experienced sort of exactly what I have in my career as a systems engineer. We're now running more and more workloads in the cloud, and certainly in some of the companies I've worked for in the past, it's never been a case of sort of leaving the office on Friday night with everything on-prem and coming back on Monday and suddenly finding everything's running in the cloud. It can be a very long process. It can certainly take a number of years to sort of fully migrate all those critical apps and infrastructure away. And there are sort of many reasons for doing it, and obviously budget often plays a role. So we typically find, even with some of our sort of larger squared up customers who are very much focused on that sort of cloud journey, that they're talking about the amount of infrastructure that they've moved up to Azure and other sort of cloud platforms, and talking sort of 15-16%, which obviously sounds really small. So even some of these sort of very motivated companies are still very much in a sort of hybrid world, and delivering that complete monitoring strategy is as important as it has been sort of classically on-prem. So where you are still in a situation where you've got a load of infrastructure on-prem, you've got loads of apps running up in Azure, whether they're sort of lift and shift or they've sort of taken that DevOps route and been redeveloped. It's very much the case that we're all starting to face challenges around hybrid monitoring, and if you're not already sort of facing those challenges, I'm sure you will be soon. So Neha's going to talk us through how we can sort of use SCOM to monitor those workloads that we have moved up to Azure, and give us a quick demo. So I will, without wasting any time, I'll pass over to Neha now, and she can take us through the features and give us a little demo. So let me just switch across to Neha now.
Okay, great. Hi everyone. My name is Neha, and thank you so much for joining us today. As Adam mentioned, that hybrid monitoring is very important to all of us, and more workloads are either like we are migrating our workloads from on-prem to cloud, or we are deploying new services and new workloads in the cloud. But at the same time, we want to monitor those applications, those workloads through SCOM, because SCOM still continues to remain the most lovable monitoring tool that our customers love, and they want to continue use SCOM for monitoring their on-prem resources as well as the resources that they have deployed in cloud. So towards that step, we have Azure Management Pack. So I'm going to talk about that. What is this Azure Management Pack? How you can deploy this Azure Management Pack, and what all capabilities Azure Management Pack provides. So quickly going through the agenda. This is, like, as I said, capabilities and features of Azure MP. What all service types are supported by Azure Management Pack at present. So let me rephrase that the list keeps on going as we receive feedback from our customers. So please feel free to add your feedback if there is any service type which you would like to see in Azure Management Pack in the future. And then I'm going to talk about, we have a CTP release planned in the month of September. So I'm going to talk about what are the new features and the new capabilities that we have added in the upcoming CTP release. We would love to hear your feedback. And after that, we are going to make few changes to that, and then we are going to be ready with the final release. Then I will be talking about the future investment that we are making in the Azure Management Pack. The reason that I'm talking about the future investment in Azure MP is to get an early feedback from our customers, like through webinars like this, to have this as a opportunity to hear from our customers directly, so that we can prioritize the right set of features for our next release. Then comes the most fun part, which is the demo that you will see Azure Management Pack in actions. And the last is the feedback channels, how you can reach out to us. And even after this webinar, if you have any feedback, if you have any comments, please feel free to reach out to us. So talking about the capabilities and features of Azure Management Pack, as Adam mentioned that more and more customers are migrating to cloud, but they would like to use the SCOM as the monitoring platform. So with Azure Management Pack, you can continue to use SCOM as your monitoring platform. In the operations manager, you can see the Azure alerts for your deployed service types in the Azure. Besides this, you can also see the performance metrics for the deployed service types in Azure. For example, for the virtual machines and the portal, you see the CPU, you can see the network in, network out. For storage, you can see a bunch of performance metrics. So we can show you the exact same metrics back in SCOM using Azure Management Pack. The other thing that our SCOM customers love is the health state. And this is a concept which is still very new to Azure, like they are just coming up with the health for few services. But this is a concept that a SCOM had like a decade ago, and our customers love it. So again, for the Azure service types, we will show you the health state depending upon whether the state is healthy or critical, depending upon the alerts on that service type. Besides this, you do not have to go to Azure portal to configure your SCOM alerts. You can collect the performance metrics, and you can create these SCOM alerts at the SCOM operations manager console. You can define that what is the threshold value, and once the threshold value breach, you will see an alert. And the other thing that our customer want, that we want to use SCOM also just as a single pane of glass, and besides this, they also want to continue to use their favorite incident management solution, what they have been traditionally using. So again, with Azure Management Pack, you can continue to use your favorite incident management solution and be notified as soon as you get an alert at the portal. So as I said, these are like a few of the service types that Azure Management Pack right now supports. This is just a subset of the exhaustive list that we support. We support virtual machines, storage account, application insights, application gateways, virtual networks, availability. So these are just a few of the service types that Azure Management Pack support. I would recommend you to go through the Azure Management Pack guide to see the exhaustive list of Azure Management Pack supported service types. So I don't know how many of you know about Azure Management Pack. How many of you have already used it? So for the folks who are seeing it for the first time, with Azure Management Pack, what all you have to do, first you will install your Azure Management Pack. After that, you have this option of add subscription. You have to add subscription. You have to use your credentials to add to your subscription, and whatever subscriptions you either have your owner permission or the contributor permission, you can add here, and you can monitor the resources under that subscription. So here I have like bunch of subscription already added. We have customers who have around 10 subscription or so, which they are monitoring using Azure Management Pack. So here I have like 5 subscriptions. Once you have added subscription, then you have to go through the authoring wizard, and here you will just give a name. Okay, and let's say you have select just any MP. Let's say resource groups MP. That is something that I've already created. And here you will select, let's say SCOM test infra. Okay, so now as you can see, we have given you 2 types of selection mode. One is the service type and the other is resource group. Resource group is something that we have added recently and the release is yet to happen. The service type is the way of selecting thing that we always had for the past n number of releases. Here, as you can see that we have identified that there are like around 1,742 instances that are under this particular subscription. As soon as you hit next, we give you an option of like, okay, I have discovered so many service types under your subscription, and you need to select what all you want to monitor, right? So if you want to select the virtual machines, we know that okay, you have like 38 instances of your virtual machine running in your subscription, but there is no way for you to select. So at the Azure, you must be like knowing about the Azure portal. What happens is like you categorize these, you group your resources under resource groups. If you have like 38 instances of virtual machine, that essentially doesn't mean that all the 38 virtual machines are under one resource group. Maybe they are across like 5 resource groups, but here we do not give you an option to select like maybe just the 10 instance of virtual machine. We say that okay, either you have an option to select all the 38 or none. Same goes ahead with the everything else. Besides this, the other feedback that we hear from our customer is once you select virtual machines and you want to receive the alert for the virtual machines, you will have to go and select the type of alert that you want to receive. Let's say in the Azure portal, you have something called metric alerts, activity log alerts, query based alerts. So all these type of alerts are present in the Azure portal, and the same alerts are supported by Azure Management Pack also. So for the after selecting the virtual machine, we also expect you to select that okay, tell me what type of alerts uh, you want to um, you want to get in this SCOM. So if you want to have the metric alerts, okay, you have to select this. If you want the activity log alerts, you have to select. So this is like once you become used to of Azure Management Pack, you know, okay, this is the way to do it. But for our new customers or like our existing SCOM customer, this is not how typically the SCOM works. Once you select, once you select a service type, then our customers assume that the relevant alerts will show up in their screen, but this is not how the design is working at the moment. Same if you have selected virtual machines, we will show you the bunch of metrics here, the performance data, and you can collect data that whatever you want to collect the performance metrics for. This alert if you want to generate a SCORM alert on the collected performance metric. Let's say for the CPU percentage, you want to have a SCORM alert that okay, as soon as my threshold increases more than 50%, I want to get a SCORM alert. So this is how you will receive a SCORM alert. So I'm just going to cancel it for now. This is how the old way of doing the stuff is. Now I will talk about that what are the new changes that we have made. So in the upcoming CTP release, the new features that we have added is same way like how you have everything grouped in the resource group at the portal. In the Azure Management Pack also, once you select the subscription, we are going to show you all the resource groups that, okay, under your subscription, I can see n number of resource groups. You have an option to select what all resource groups you want to monitor. Once you have selected the resource group, we are going to show you the service types of only the resource group that you have selected. And under this also, you can select which service type you want to under which resource group. Let's say here you can select virtual machine, while under the other resource group you might want to select a storage account. So we have given you that kind of liberty. And same way the performance data will also be collected for the service types that you have selected. Now the other question that customer might have that okay, if this is how it should be done, resource group and service types, that why haven't we deprecated the way of uh, why haven't we deprecated the way that you can why not just the resource group way? Why do we want to have the service type way enabled at the moment? So the reason of that is, I can just quickly show you. Okay. So the reason behind is, So here you can see that few of our service types are showing up in gray while few are showing up in black. The one which are showing up in gray, that means that for these service types, you do not have the monitoring enabled. What do you mean by monitoring is not enabled? That the performance data is not going to be collected for these kind of service types in the Azure. While if you while if you still want to receive the alert on these service types, then you can always go ahead and select. So you can select this particular service type and the kind of alert. Let's say if you have defined a metric alert on this particular service type, then you can see the metric alert defined on that. So maybe you will not see the health state of disk, but you will see any metric alert that you have defined on type disk in the portal in the SCOM. So this is how this thing is still useful. The other useful thing that is provided by this kind of thing is that for the customers who only care about, I do not care about any other thing. I only want to monitor my virtual machines across all the resource group for all my subscriptions. I do not want to run through the wizard that you have given me. All I want is just let me monitor my virtual machine. Okay, just come to this wizard, just select virtual machines, and you are good to go. So this is why we have kept this and the other way. Now the thing, now for the upcoming releases, I will talk about like what are the things that we are prioritizing for the upcoming release. So this is the feature list that we are going to release this in our CTP, which is planned sometime in September 2019. Here I have shared with you the link where we typically keep our, where we typically release our management packs. I would encourage you all to give it a try in your test environment and share your feedback with us. Um, so that we can further like enhance Azure management pack, because we also look forward to to customer feedback, and then would like to hear from our customers, prioritize the right feedback, because we understand that hybrid monitoring is super duper important for our customers. So please do share your feedback. Okay, so for the Azure MP investment, so this is what we are considering at present. So the HTML based dashboards for easy navigation and views. So if you look at the SCOM console, what we typically do is that all the alerts are present in one view, and there is no way for us to filter these alerts on the basis of subscription, a resource group, or on the basis of service type. While on the portal, you can say that I want to see the alerts only for my X subscription, for my Y service type, for my Y resource group, and for my Z service type. So this is the kind of filtering that you can do at the portal. So the same kind of attempt we are trying to make using with the HTML5 dashboard. We do not have the demo ready, but we plan to have it sometime in January or February timeframe. So that will allow you to, if you have added 5 subscription and you only want to see the state views of or the alerts related to your subscription one, then HTML5 dashboard will give you that capability. Under those subscription, if you have 10 resource groups and you only want to see that only show me the service types of my resource group one, then you would be able to do it. So this is something that we are working on in the upcoming release. So hopefully this will be a pretty exciting feature for our customers, because we hear from our customers that the views that are being shown by Azure Management Pack are not very user friendly, takes a whole lot of time. So this is something that we are addressing. The other thing that we hear from our customer is improvements in the reliability. Sometimes what our customer complain about for Azure Management Pack is the state of an alert or a service type is not always in sync between what is being shown in SCOM and what is being shown in the portal. So this is another thing that we are taking up. We are making huge investments in this area so that you can totally rely on the health state or on the alerts that are being shown in SCOM. The other feedback that we get is in terms of scalability, that if you have like around like 4,000, 5,000 objects under a subscription, and maybe you are monitoring 3 or 4 subscription, which is like equal to around 10,000, 20,000 objects, then sometimes Azure Management Pack is unable to scale. So that is another feedback that we hear. So that is also something that we are looking at. We will make improvements with every CTP release. So do not expect that okay, everything is going to be there in the January, but I just wanted to let you know that we know these are the issues and we are working on them, and hopefully in the upcoming 6 months you will see significant improvements in Azure Management Pack. The other thing that we want to hear from you is there are the new service types that you would like to be added in the Azure Management Pack. There are few service types that we know that there are like new type of alerts that are being added in the Azure portal, like the cost-based alerts, budget alerts, and there are like new features that are being added to portal. But adding all those features is not really an option for us, because obviously we also have like constraint in terms of resources and everything. So if you guys can help us in just like giving us your prioritized list, that what is it that you would like to see in the upcoming Azure release, then that will really help us to prioritize the right set of service types and the right set of features in Azure Management Pack. The other thing is like any suggestions, please feel free to write in the chat window. And after this session is over, I would like to answer as many questions as possible. Okay, so now we will just see a quick demo. Okay, so I've already shown you the authoring. So here, as I said, that you will have an option to select both, whether you want to select. So here I have already created a template for the demo purpose, and here this is the subscription that I have selected. Under this subscription, I have these many resource groups. Here I have the option to select what is the resource group that I want to see in, and just quickly select this. For my demo, I have selected RG0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunch of resource groups, and here, as you can see, I will only see the resource group that I have selected in my previous page. And here I am saying that, okay, these many instances I have under these resource group. I have an option to maybe, unselect that, okay, I'm not interested in virtual networks. I don't want to monitor it. Same here. Let's say here again, I don't want to monitor my virtual this thing. So you have the option to select whatever you want. Exclude list is something that if you want to if you're following some naming parameter that all the virtual machines which start with VM, I do not want to monitor, then maybe you can write a regex expression here that okay, anything that starts with VM, I am not interested in monitoring them. So you can use this exclude filter. The other thing is like this metrics, that what is it that you want to monitor, uh, and what all data you want to collect. For my demo, I have like a bunch of guest metrics enabled for a few of my virtual machines, so I have selected them. Besides this, I have this network in, network out, bunch of things here. Here again, I want to see, okay, what all I have for my storage accounts. So I'm seeing that, okay, for storage account also I have like bunch of things. Let's say I want to select everything. And this is the summary page, which will tell me that, okay, this is what you have selected so far, as you can see. And now it will say, would you like to save changes? And said, okay, I want to save my changes. So after authoring, we will go to the page monitoring. So it will take some time for the monitoring to happen. Like given that I've already created that template, it's right there. But if you are creating this template, it will take some time for you, because the discovery will take up to 5 minutes, and also depending upon how many service types that you have selected, maybe it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So proportionally, the time will depend, but it won't really take a lot of time. But yeah, it will take some time. After that, we have active alerts. like how our typically SCOM has. Then we have something called resource group state. As you can see, I had only selected these many resource group while in the beginning I had like some 20 resources or so, but I'm only seeing whatever resources that I have and the corresponding health state of those resources. Same way. Um, for the services state also, the I'm only seeing the alerts and the service type for the resource groups that I have selected. So this has like really brought down my numbers. Otherwise, this is like usually a pretty huge list. Um, so this is like really brought down my number. The other feedback that we get from our customer is that we do not get enough description in the SCORM alert, that why that alert has happened and on what is the target resource on which I have got that alert. So this is again an improvement that we have done in the Azure Management Pack CTP release. Going forward, you will have a clear cut that what is the subscription name. As you can see, this is your subscription name. It's SCOM Azure MP2, and what is the condition that has met that you are receiving this alert. This is that the condition that you are is that CPU percentage greater than threshold 5 with average aggregation type. So when you have defined this alert in the portal, you have defined that, okay, what is the condition that should breach so that you will get an alert. For the demo purpose, we have just added a threshold of 5, and this thing is breached. And then you see number of alerts fired, that how many alerts has been fired. So as you can see, okay, I only have one alert fired, and this is my target resource. So under resource group test RG0 on test win VM0, I have this particular alert fired. Now this is the another alert that we have. This is again metric alert. The same thing we are showing you, but here as you can see that we are showing you that you have 3 alerts fired because of this alert rule that you have created in your portal. What does that mean? That means that, okay, I can see that you have 2 target resources, one test lane one VM0 and another test win VM0. On these 2 virtual machines, you have this particular alert fired. And why this is alert fired? Okay, because your CPU percentage is greater than threshold 7.5 with average aggregation fired. Now let's just go back to the portal and see that what all information we get into the alerts there. So here it is CPU percent in 2 VM. Okay, so in Azure portal, we will go to our monitor. You will see, okay, how many alerts. Okay. Okay, I can see that I have, okay, I want to see only my fired alerts. And I want to see, let's see if it shows up. Okay, CPU percentage in 2. Okay, so there is still a bunch of Okay, so as you can see that we have 3 alerts fired at the portal as well, and the same data is being shown there. Here you can see that alert state is new, and you can see the effective resource, but as you can see that the target resource group is different here. This is an RG1 while this is an RG0, and via time. Besides this, let's also see what other alert descriptions is being shown at the portal. Okay, so at the portal, we are showing you that, this is the metric CPU percentage. Aggregation type is the average greater than, and the threshold is 7.5. That is what we have set. But the real value that you have received is 7.512. Azure Management Pack does not provide you that, okay, what is the real-time metric value for which the alert has fired. So that is not something that is provided. But other than that, we are telling you that the CPU percentage with average aggregation type greater than 7.5 has this, and these are the um, these are the two, and these are the resources for which you have. These are the target resource type on which these alerts are fired. The reason that we are not showing you a different alert and I have only updated in the alert description is because of the alert storm that customers keeps complaining about. We did not want again to flood SCOM with so many alerts that uh, okay, every time you have a new alert we show you a new alert. So instead of that we will just show you that okay, this alert is fired, and in the description you will have the complete details about the target resource and everything. The other thing that we have is the activity log alerts and the log based alerts. So here also you will pretty much see everything. What you see in a metric alert. The other thing you can see here is that your number of raised alerts in the SCOM is 9. So for activity log alerts or the low log based alert, every time the condition is true, as you know, you see a new alert in the Azure portal. But given that we do not want to flood our SCOM with so many alerts, we will only show you one alert, but we will increase the counts, and we are going to show you that how many alerts you have in your portal. So this is the another capability that we have added here. Now coming to the performance data, I just want to show you that what all uh, if you want to see the, so here as you can select that the CPU percentage. um, so you can select, like I'm only showing you the virtual machine performance. One way is that you just come to this board virtual machine performance and select for what instance you want to see. The other way is that you go to your service state, and I'm just seeing a virtual machine somewhere, and open the performance view here. Okay, so looks like I've not selected any performance counter here. Okay, and as you will select the performance counter, you will see that so you are also seeing that okay, at what time what was the value of your CPU percentage. So this is another way of you giving you an example, giving you an idea that okay, if I'm seeing an alert, how my performance data is. Maybe my CPU percentage value is like 6.71, it has reached at 5:50 am, that's why I have received that alert. So that is the another thing that we have added. Okay, coming back. So yeah, so these are the capabilities that we have added in our CTP release. Um, so just quickly going through it again. So we have like given you the option to select the resource group and the service types, and depending upon the resource group that you have selected, we have merged the alerts and the service types. So once you will select the service type, you do not have to select the corresponding alerts. As soon as you will select the service type, uh, you will automatically get like if you have selected virtual machine and if you have defined activity log alert or metric alerts or any other alert for virtual machine that is supported by management pack, you will get the corresponding alert. So that is another thing that we have done. And and we are going to then besides this we have improvised the alert description. We will show you that why particular alert has fired in the portal. And as I spoke about the upcoming releases, we are going to see improvement in the reliability and a rich H5 dashboard, which will be, we will try to make it close to what you see in the portal. So the navigation and the viewing experience for you is pretty simple and straightforward. So yes, for the feedback and comments, as you know, we have our user voice page where you can reach out. And on the tech community as well, we are pretty active. We look at your comments and we post regular blogs. So please go through those blogs. Please leave your comments. And other than that, we have an alias Azure MP feedback at microsoft.com where we can answer your questions.
Sure. So thank you very much for that, Neha. Sorry, I'll switch presenter back over to me just quickly, and then we can run through the Q&A. So if you bear with me for just one moment, everyone. Just obviously for a bit of cross promotion, I wouldn't be doing my job if I hadn't sort of brought this up as well. We obviously use the Azure MP internally. We run actually the majority of our compute resources up in Azure and a number of web services as well. So again, just for all you squared up customers out there, you can make some pretty cool looking dashboards. Really nice way to get sort of quick and easy overview of what's going on in Azure. For this particular dashboard, I had to manually create a roll up from resource group health to subscription, which may not be appropriate for everyone, but it certainly looks nice on the dashboard to get everything sort of lit up. And also as well, just sort of being able to drill down and see exactly why something has gone wrong, what's affecting the health. So yeah, for all you squared up users watching, don't be afraid to just jump in and create some dashboards. I'm sure at some point in the future we'll release a dashboard pack with a few nice dashboards for you to get started with. But now we'll end the webinar with the Q&A section. Like I said, we've got quite a few questions to run through, so I'll try and cover the sort of the big topics, and we'll obviously get back to people directly if we don't get your answer out during the webinar. We've got a couple of questions to do with sort of deployment and permissions. So in terms of how the MP is actually collecting data from Azure, certainly in our environment, we use the sort of automatically create me an SPN option. Are there other options available?
So right now, although we have the option through SPN and UPN, but UPN is something that we do not recommend. So yeah, connecting with the SPN, I would say, is the only way, and it's quite possible that going forward, we will deprecate the way to connect through UPN. So this is, and sometimes we see that, okay, when customers are using the UPN way, there are few, they are like missing out on monitoring. So because I think there are like few limitations that Azure Management Pack when you are connecting through UPN. So that is why we might deprecate it in the upcoming future. So SPN will be your only way to connect to your subscription.
But even with that option, you can obviously create the SPN yourself. You don't have to let the MP generate it for you.
Absolutely. Either you can add the SPN details, or you can create using the Azure Management Pack. Okay.
We've had a few questions around about scalability, and you mentioned it sort of briefly already. So firstly, do you recommend deploying this on a dedicated management server? And do you have any built-in limits for the number of resources, the number of subscriptions, that kind of thing? Or is it just an issue of scale?
Yeah, so the thing is, actually, we in our test environment, we have a monitor around like 6,000, 7,000 instances. And with the Azure Management Pack guide, we have documented it that, okay, if you are monitoring more than like 2,000 instances, that what are the steps that you should take. So that is another way of doing it. The other thing is like maybe you can have a management group, you can have like 2 management server. On worst management server, you have 1 subscription on other management server. You can have the other subscription so that you can, sort of like divide the workload. So that is how you can do it. If you will say that, okay, do we have any, any scalability restrictions, which is like, okay, you cannot monitor more than this number of instances. Sure. So the answer is that I don't know. Okay. We have customers who are monitoring like some 7,000, 8,000 instances. So that is, and we have tested it for around 6,000 and 6,000, 7,000 instances. So we know it works for them. But but this is something that is in our to-do list, and in our upcoming releases, if you see any issues, you will see definitely an improvement in the scalability.
That's great. We had another question to do with alerts. Are they all rule-based, or are there monitor-based alerts in there as well?
So when you see the rule-based alert or the monitor-based alert, right now, all alerts that you see in SCOM are the monitor-based alerts. While when you see at the portal, I think the metric alerts is what they have as the monitor-based, because they are auto-resolved. While for the SQR, for the activity log alerts and the log-based alerts is something that you have to manually close them. So I think there are the rule-based alerts. But when you see in the SCOM portal, you do not have to close anything manually. When an alert is closed at the portal, that particular alert will automatically be closed or will automatically be resolved with the SCOM. So they're all monitor-based.
Okay, that's great. And another question, and this often comes up with any sort of monitoring solution, is how do we monitor this monitoring solution? Is there somewhere that tells us that the sync health is actually, that the sync is healthy?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Adam, can you please repeat the question?
So is there a monitor built in that actually says that the synchronization between SCOM and Azure is actually working? Are there any rules? Are there any alerts that get generated if sync doesn't work? Or?
Yeah, I don't think so the only way is like, we run our monitors after every 5 minutes. So we query the portal after every 5 minutes. So that is the way that we assume that okay, it will work. So yeah, we like ultimately we are getting all the data from the ARM APIs. So we are querying the portal, and as soon as so the maximum delay that can happen is like for 5 minutes. If you see more than that, then definitely that's a bug, and you need to reach out to us.
Okay. Another question just around, I guess, sort of customizing the monitoring you're doing. We saw in your demo that you can define alert thresholds for different metrics. Can you still use the sort of the classic SCOM model of overrides to create different rules for different instances of the same object? Can you have different rules across different resource groups, that kind of thing, or is it just that initial sort of wizard?
I think, as far as I know, in the wizard only you can define the threshold, and you will see the alert. Besides this, I don't know if this is a possibility. Please drop me an email, and I will ask our engineer to look into it and maybe get back to you.
Okay, that's great. Just one other thing that we'll cover sort of right now in the webinar, and again, we'll send out answers to all the questions sort of following the session.
Sure.
One question is that the monitoring that's happening, what we're seeing sort of currently is kind of classic SCOM monitoring. It's infrastructure, it's virtual machines, it's disks. Do you have plans to support things like Kubernetes services or clusters or containers? Or is that
Yes,
that's up and
so the
coming?
answer to that question is like, please share with us that what all service types you guys use. We would love to enable monitoring for them, but we need to hear from our customers, because the Azure portal, if you look at the service types that is supported by Azure portal, the list is huge. And unless we hear from our customers, there is no way for us to, prioritize that what is more important for our SCOM customers, for our on-prem customers. And once we have that list, yes, we will definitely invest in these areas. Kubernetes, container. Yes, definitely.
Excellent. That's great. So that's it for today's session. Thank you very much, Neha, for joining us and for giving us that demo.
Sure, my pleasure.
I'd love to have you back with future developments. So for now, I'll just say thanks to everyone for watching and for answering the poll questions. And again, check your inbox for a link to the slides and the blog after the webinar. Thanks a lot.